Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Shoulder Tap. I am Jack, yet again, joined by the risk head honcho himself, Mr. Mick. Mick, how's the day going so far?
Hey, it's been a good, busy day. Happy to be back in the swing of things this Monday morning. So, yeah, everything's going really well, Jack. I'm excited about the segment today. How's everything with you?
Everything's going well. I don't know if you heard earlier, but I accidentally slammed my head into a piece of, I don't know what you would call it. It's like a part of the door, and the mark is getting more intense. So by the end of the day, we'll see what that looks like. Besides that, my day's been going great. Started trading bond spreads again.
So, I heard about that. What were you doing? 2 years, 5 years?
I was
Is
doing
that what it
big
was?
piece of curve, twos, 30s.
Twos and 30s. Ups and ends of the spectrum.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that about your head, Jack. Hopefully,
It's
it
feeling
doesn't
better
affect
now.
any of your trading. I
It
know.
may. We'll
I
see.
what When JD was asking me about what you were doing, I heard there were some people saying you couldn't do that in there. You can absolutely, short the 2 years and go long the 10 years or 30 years here, excuse me, in our program. There's nothing that says you can't, trade, assume different positions in those products. So, yeah, everything's fine. We just don't offer the calendar spreading, which you'd have to leg those ones anyways, really.
You want to stay clear of that anyway. Like, no good comes from if you're doing outright futures trades, like trying to roll them is madness. You'll be okay.
Now, I used to trade the 30 years quite a bit. I never really paid much attention to the trading activity on the 2 years. At least I didn't participate in it. What was you probably already explained it, so I don't want to take up airtime right now. I'm just curious what your thought process was around that. Maybe some people didn't hear earlier.
I'm looking at a longer trend of seeing the yield curve uninverting. So that's the side that I want to buy. So I was long the 2 year futures, short the 30 years, just seeing what I can do and trade around it a little bit, getting my feet back wet. It was like the first time I had legged a spreads since October of 2015. So
Oh,
we'll see if I still have it in the next few days.
it's
But it
been a
was fun.
while. Welcome back.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get my card on one
Um,
of these things.
just for everybody out there, those longer term financials will, have a much larger average true range because they're further out, which is why I like trading the 30 years back in the day versus the 10 years or the 5 notes or the 2 notes kind of thing. So Jack is overall bearish the longer term treasuries.
Yeah, it's more that I think that as I said, I think that the yields are going to go lower on the 2 years versus the back end of the curve. But
Got it.
we'll see. Trouble if we're not. I hope I'm right.
Okay. All right. Well, fun stuff. I hope it works out for you. Now that I know you have a little skin in the game, I'll keep an eye on it. But Jack, let's get into the shoulder tap segment and talk about our traders a little bit. Last week was a pretty good week. I've got some exciting numbers to share as far as performance goes from our live group of traders. We did call up 14 traders from XFA to live last week and only offboarded 5 accounts. So we had a net change of 9 people added to the prop firm. 2 weeks ago, we called up 37 traders to live, which was our highest yet thus far in a single week. But 14 is pretty good, and we brought up some good quality trading, good quality traders. So I do want to rattle off a couple names from their P&Ls last week. I hope it's not overlap from something JD might have mentioned earlier, but big shout out to Dakota. He made $31,700 in his live account last week. He's also up 5,800 this morning. So he made new equity highs in his account, new account balance highs, which we're always excited about. Formerly, it was $140,000. He's up just shy of 144,000, 143,000 and some change today. Thanks for those apples again last week. If anybody saw on Friday,
Nice.
Brett came in with some apples because I roasted Dakota not last Friday, but the Friday before, and then he had that big $11,000 winning day last Monday and asked me how I like them apples. I haven't had one of those 2 apples that he gave me, but I did smear some peanut butter on one of them and fed them to my daughter over the weekend. She likes them apples as long as they had the peanut butter on them, and then she threw the rest on the floor, Dakota. So thanks again for those. But also, last week, Jesus we talked about him. He had two back-to-back $10,000 winning days. The other few days of the week were daily loss limit days. So he finished his week up 12,600. Nicholas T made 9,900 last week. He's up 2,300 this morning. Mikhail, who we featured on Shoulder Tap, one of the trading cards last week, he had finished the week up $7,500. And then this morning we've got some notable people to mention. Salman up 2,300, Eddie up 2,500, and with that, let's dive in. I want to pull up a card for Felipe. Felipe is one of our live traders. He's been in this account for 20 days trading live. You'll see average daily P&L minus 155 bucks. So overall, he hasn't really been profitable, but over the course of 20 days, this isn't too bad. I wanted to feature him today to kind of give him a shout out because he made $3,900 last week, Jack. So very happy,
Nice.
when you see someone who's kind of treading water, struggling a little bit, made $3,900 last week. So that was a good week. Hopefully a confidence booster, and he can take that momentum from last week into this week. But it's also a shoulder tap because overall he's kind of, he's losing money on his live account here. And I'm going to attribute it to, one thing in particular. Before I get to it, though, let's look at the metrics here, Jack. He's just trading the NASDAQ. Half of his days are winning days. 67% of his trades are winning trades. So this 67% winning trades kind of leads us into what I want to talk about here with him. It's like, how can someone who's almost having 70% of their trades being winners actually be losing money to the markets? And just look below, and there's kind of your answer. Average winning day is only $1,840, while his average losing day is $2,600. So, 45% of his days are losing days, 55% are winning. It's just those those losers are about, $700 more. Not $700 more. Where's my math here? They're about $800 larger than the winning days. And the average winning trade per contract is only at 560, while the average losing trade per contract is minus 1270. So that's where the $700 difference is. This is, Jack, it's pretty, it's right there in front of us here. Like, you were going to say, it sounds like you're going to say something.
Yeah,
I'll let you go.
it's pretty skewed with the average winner, average loser, where to make those numbers work out, you would need a winning trade percentage that I don't think is particularly realistic. So if there's one thing that they have to change, it would be they got to do something about that ratio. They got to be cutting those losers earlier.
Yeah. It's something that he could really easily implement on a day-to-day basis. Whatever the trade setup is, Felipe, just make sure that you're measuring out your risk reward. It's that money management that we need to put into your trading on a per trade basis. But things I like here, he does have a high percent of winning trades. He is trading smaller than he can, Jack, which is really nice. For someone in a 150K account to still be trading one lots and two lots, I really like that. I especially like that because overall they're not profitable. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on one of these other trading cards we look at, where someone is, trading size that they shouldn't be trading because they're not profitable overall. So we'll get to that trader soon. But, areas to improve. We already touched on keeping the average losing day smaller than the average winning day. They need to adjust the risk reward ratio. If they don't do that, then this account's going to bleed out despite being, right more than half the time on a per day basis, and then right almost 3/4 of the time, or 2/3 of the time, I should say, on a per trade basis. Hold times, little area to consider here. I don't think it's, too big a piece of this because I really think the risk reward is what we need to be focusing on. But they're spending more time in their losing trades than the winning trades. And, staying away from the daily loss limit should be a big thing for them to focus on too. I think Felipe coming up with a personal loss limit is something that you really should do, because of those 20 days that they traded in this live account, 7 of those days were daily loss limits of $3,000 that were hit. So stay away from the daily loss limit, frame out the trades a little bit better on a per trade basis, and we'll see some better stuff out of the trading if we can make those changes, Felipe. But overall, $155, on average for per trading day is not too bad. I would call that kind of treading water. You're not profitable, but you're also not getting smoked either. So some subtle tweaks here could really change change how things pan out in this live account, Jack.
Yeah, and it's hard to know without looking more into his fills and where the market was at the time, but I wonder if some of that high winning trade percentage is due to him taking so much rope to hang himself, basically, with the losers, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that he just holds them until they work out or hits his DLL or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. I mean, we see that a lot with traders. I really always like it when I see someone cut losses at, for someone in an account size of this nature. I always like it when I see someone who will take a $500 loser, who will take a $1,000 loser, a $1,500 losing day. They're what that tells me is they're calling it quits because they manage their money on a per trade basis. But it's these traders that don't stop trading and will only stop when they hit that daily loss limit, where there's a cause for concern there, because just because we give you a long leash doesn't mean that you need to use it. And I mean, if it's pretty easy to make or lose $1,000 a day trading one lots, but if you're losing $3,000 a day, on a high percentage of those trading days, you're doing something pretty wrong there to lose $3,000
Yeah.
trading one lots during the day. And how many trades are they making per day? Only four on average. So yeah, I mean, tighten up the leash, buckle down a little bit, and we could see some, improvements. But, this isn't awful here, Jack, but I wanted to talk about it because I think there's a lot of traders out there that are, doing what Felipe is doing. And, they're right, but they're losing money, and they're not measuring the risk reward properly, which is, why they're down money in this account. So make some changes, and we'll see some differences.
Yeah.
Jack, I think we could move
Switzerland
on.
looks nice too. Yeah. Let's go ahead.
I'd like to go there. I hear it is less expensive to go on a ski trip to Switzerland than it is to go to a ski trip in Colorado here in the U.S.
Could be possible.
I
I'm
I
scared of
saw
speed, so I don't do either.
I saw a breakdown. It's like you could stay in a much nicer hotel in Switzerland. You could eat a lot better. They did the breakdown, like lodging, lift ticket costs, food, all that kind of stuff, entertainment. So I was telling my wife about that. I was like, maybe we go on a ski trip to Switzerland instead of Colorado next time.
Nice.
All right, but
See you there.
getting back on track, let's go to Xavier. I got a lot of notes here on Xavier. Xavier, unlike Felipe that we just talked about, Xavier spent 25 days in his live account, and the damage is quite a bit more staggering. So he had a bad week last week. Average daily P&L, he's almost losing $900 every single day he trades, and that's 900 times 25 days. So he's got very, very low winning day percentage, very, very low winning trade percentage. Average winning day is less than the average losing day, so that's a problem there. And then he does have a good risk reward, so he's just not finding it. So what that tells me is, with him trading the equity indices, this current market environment that we're in, it's not working for his strategy, or his strategy is not working in the current market environment. So this is the sample size of 25 days in the live account is a good sample size, in my opinion. If I had metrics like this over the last 25 days that I was trading, I would take a time out from trading. I would take, a couple of weeks off. I would take a month off, maybe longer. And I would look at, why my performance is what it is. I think something that attributes to this average daily P&L and some of the big losses that we see on this account is they are not trading smaller than they could be. They are trading, pretty significant position sizing. And when you're only right 28% of the time on your trades, even if the risk reward's there, you shouldn't be trading size. If you're only right one of 4 trading days, you should not be trading size. These are the metrics that are very glaringly obvious about, hey, this isn't working. So I go from trading, whatever it is, 5 contracts, 10 contracts, even 2 contracts, you go to 1 contract. When you're not profitable over 25 days, and these are the metrics you have, you go to 1 contract. And that's what I'd like to see Xavier do.
Yeah.
But, I do like the risk reward per contract is good. The average winning day, I think this got transferred over to the card incorrectly. The average winning day is not
Yeah, that's what I
$1,800.
was thinking. I think maybe there's a typo there, but I'd say
This
either
looks
way,
like
if
it
the
was
28% is right, is that Xavier's trying to send it, I think. Like,
yeah, we have a lot of examples of people that try and send it. Those people that have 10 $3,000 losing days, and then they make 25 grand, 20 grand, something like that. Yeah, you're probably right, Jack. Just got
yeah,
to
I don't know
send
how
it.
else you get down to a winning trade. And you can do that responsibly. I mean, like Dakota's been out here talking about how he's only right a third of the time or something, but
Mm-hmm.
um, you got to make the most when you do send it. And that's not what is occurring here.
No, it's not. So
You
I do
catch my
have an
drift.
update. We catch your drift. I do have an update on the average winning day and average losing day. The average winning day is $3,700. So that's a pretty good average winning day. We just don't see a lot of them. Average losing day, the other 3/4 of the time, is $2,600. So it's just, it's adding up because they're not finding those profitable trades or the winning days. But again, I like the risk reward per contract. That's good. I like the average winning days being larger. We just have too many of those losing days. And I do like the hold times here, Jack. They're patient with the
Mm-hmm.
trades. They're spending double the amount of time in their winning trades than they are their losing trades. Again, it's just those winning trades are kind of scarce here. So I think as far as areas for improvement, I'm not sure about this, Jack, but I think trade locations probably a piece of this, finding better trade locations on those trades. Um, and I mentioned earlier, right out of the gates, scaling down. If you are not a profitable trader, you need to trade as small as you possibly can. Only when you find yourself being consistently profitable can you justify um, putting more size on and adding more contracts. Xavier's kind of got his back against the wall, Jack. He started in this live account with 40K. That's what we moved him over
Mm-hmm.
from XFA to live with, and he's sitting right around $9,500. I'm happy he's taken a payout. He took a little, almost 9 grand as far as
Okay.
payouts go. So that's nice, but a lot of daily loss limits hit here, and I would just like to. Maybe he's watching, maybe he's not. I know he's here in the U.S., so we're not really on different time zones or anything like that. So this might just be an intervention. Xavier, let's pump the brakes and take a little time off. This is when a trader, goes from 40 grand in their account down to, $9,000, $10,000. You have to look at what's going on and what's occurred for him. It's what's occurred over the last 25 days. And, I know it's only natural to want to get in there and make that money back and be profitable. But probably one of the best things a trader could do is take some time off. I benched myself for a couple months in my first year of trading, Jack. It was the best thing I ever
Mm-hmm.
did. I know I've shared that. It's been a while since I shared that story, but I was a grain trader. I had a very short bias in the soybeans. It was a record crop year and whatnot. But what I had not paid attention to was the high demand coming out of China and then buying up all our beans. And I was shorting the market every single day. I was losing thousands of dollars every single day. And I made the smart choice to say, you know what, I've got this bias that's not working, and I'm going to put myself out of business if I keep trading and keep shorting along this bias. So I took a few months off, did some odds and ends things, came back. I preserved the capital that I had left, and I came back with a fresh outlook, fresh mind, and I stopped trading soybeans from the short side. Had I continued fighting that market, I would have certainly been out of money, and potentially even owed money to the clearing firm if they let me go any
Oof.
further. But that didn't happen. I preserved the capital, and I survived to trade many more years full time for myself. And at the time, there was nowhere like Topstep where you could come in, sign up for a trading combine, earn a live account. If I busted, I busted, and I was seeking life elsewhere as far as careers go. So I had to make that decision. But I think it's important while I'm on the topic, for everybody out there, yes, you can hit a reset in the trading combine. Yes, if you lose a live account or an express funded account, you can go back to the trading combine. You can always start back over here at Topstep. It is a beautiful thing. But the people that don't have the mindset of, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I'm going to keep fighting this trend. I'm going to keep working this bias, even if it's not working. If you have the mindset that you can bail yourself out, be it a reset or just starting anew if you lose your funded level account, you are not going to perform as well as the people who think that treat their live account or their funded level account as, this is the one I got. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to preserve the capital. I'm going to find opportunities. I'm going to profit. I'm going to limit my downside. You will never be better than the people that take that approach. Never. You might find short-term success and get to say, haha, I made more money than those people that were, being more disciplined with it. But over the course of time, you are not going to be more successful than those people that treat it more seriously.
Yeah. Well, $9,500 is a bunch of money still. Don't piss the rest of that away trying to catch runners.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I wouldn't say that the back is against the wall here for Xavier, but if he's hitting daily loss limits of 3,000 with some slippage on the S&Ps or Nasdaq, like, he gets 3 swings at the plate at that rate. But $9,500 is a lot of money, so don't give yourself 3 swings at the plate, Xavier. Give yourself 10 swings at the plate. If you say, I'm only going to risk $950 a day, you're going to have to be wrong 10 days in a row to whittle away that account from 9,500 down to zero. And chances are, even at 28% winning days, chances are you're not going to have 10 losing days in a row. So make some adjustments, take some time off, and let's keep this account. I'd love
All right,
to
let's see this.
share a comeback story.
Let's do it.
All right. We've got time for one more here, Jack. Let's kick it over to Colby. This is really, really impressive stuff from Colby, I will say. So this is totally a shout out. Colby got called up from XFA to Live last Friday, moving to the prop firm with us. He's one of those 14 people we called up. He's averaging $1,440 a day. He traded 15 days in his XFA, all just really, really good stuff. 87% winning days, 68% winning trades. Average winning day is a little bit lower than the average losing day, but again, he's almost at 90% winning days. He only had, of those 15 days, that math pans out to, that's 2 losing days. And I like, out of those 2 losing days, despite him having a $3,000 daily loss limit with this account size, he had a $2,022 losing day, Jack, and then he had a $2,500 losing day. Be this all, he's trading one lots. Trading one lots, Jack. Not even trading size.
This is a really good card. I gotta
Are
say,
you
this is
looking
one
at
of the
the
better
trade
ones I've
report
seen.
right now?
No, but I can while you're
Yeah,
discussing.
you don't have. You don't have to. But there's nothing but good stuff here. I couldn't even pinpoint an area where I would say this is an area for improvement. He's got a risk reward that's greater than 3 to 1, so he's making $1,080 per contract while he's only risking $300 per contract. Felipe could take a page out of this book. Xavier could take a page out of this book. 3 to 1 risk reward. I would say that it's been working really, really well for him, but kind of something that you had, brought up on the last card there, like, Jack, you don't have to risk a ton
Hmm.
to still put up a large amount. So this is just really good. Averaging less than 3.5 trades per day. He's been good at taking payouts in that XFA. He took 2 payouts for a total of 9,300 bucks. So of those 15
Okay.
days, 9,300 in payouts. He's going to be starting with a nice healthy account balance in the live account. So this is just overall, good stuff. Happy feeling. I'm happy for him, and I don't have a whole heck of a lot else to share here, I guess, other than the hold times here are pretty nice on the Nasdaq. He's holding his winners for twice as long as he's holding the losers, and at 27 minutes hold time on his winning trades, he's grabbing a piece of the trend for the day. And I
Hmm.
think that's where you can really be profitable as a day trader, trading one lots, you know, average winning day over $2,000. It's good stuff.
Yeah. As they're saying in the comments, roll tide or
Roll
war eagle,
Tide.
whichever one you're into.
Oh,
Awesome. Well, yeah,
side
we should get him
side
on
note
TV.
here. Yeah, Colby. Let's reach out to Colby, see if we can get him on because this is really good. Um, I'm happy I'm talking about good trading right now because I'm a little frustrated, Jack. The trade report when I was looking at Colby earlier today, none of these metrics were populating in the trade report. I had to do it all by hand. But
Oh,
Colby, you were worth it because it was such good trading. So I did all these metrics by hand, and only now I'm looking at the trade report. They're all populated. Dang it.
oh, take it
It's
up with
funny how that
tech. We'll
works
find them.
sometimes. Yeah, we'll talk to tech about that. Jack, I know
All
we're
right.
up on time, but this was a fun start to the week, and I know we'll have some more good stuff to talk about later on in the week. Um, Traders, get a head start. If you got the head start, preserve that capital. We got 4 more sessions. We got some news coming out this week, so um, hopefully, these markets are on an up and up, and our accounts are on an up and up.
Yeah, I'll be full strength by Friday too. I don't know if I'm having like a traumatic brain injury as we speak. We'll find out, but I think I still remember what the schedule is. Next, we got group coaching with JD and Robert, then strategy lab with Anne Marie. I see her in the chat. That's at 1. Then we got power hour with Austin Silver. So stick around. The house account might be out. The keys are in the ignition. Let's see what we do with it. Thanks again, Mick, and we'll be back right after this.